Hi everyone, you're watching Sabrina's Black Flag review. Sabrina aka Hitomii Wales. I play a great deal of games on my PlayStation 4, but one that I'd bought and neglected recently was Assassin's Creed 4, also known as Black Flag. Now this game is one that will take quite a lot of your time, and it was one that I thoroughly enjoyed playing, even though it took me around 50 hours to complete from start to finish. That included unlocking everything on the map and trying to achieve as many trophies as possible. As you'll see in the gameplay of mine during this video, I will be covering a majority of the game and all of its activities. Right now I'm just in the sea on my ship, the Jackdaw, and we're looking for loot and sailors that might be shipwrecked, such as this one here. And as you can see, it says rescue, so we add another crew member. And just off in the distance there you can see a treasure chest symbol and some meters counting down, and that is us moving towards a loot chest. If you've played any of the other Assassin's Creed games, you'll know that loot chests are a frequent thing, and there are many to collect in this game. There are a couple of ships in my way. I'm just going to take them out. The great thing with the ship, once you've done some upgrades, is that you'll have no trouble in taking out the smaller ships, such as the schooners and the gunboats. We then move forwards and we can loot anything that has come off them. There are a range of resources in this game that you will need for trading and upgrading. You can find them on land and at sea, but I guarantee that you'll need quite a lot of metal, so make sure that you pick up anything that you come by while you're out and about on the ocean. Another tip I can give you is make the most of every place you visit on the islands. There might be loot to find, and make sure that you check out all of the viewpoints. By doing the viewpoints, it unlocks everything on the island, so you'll be able to see all of the things available to you. This could be an assassination contract, it could be treasure chests, or it could even be side missions that will gain you quite a lot of money. I'm just going to pull in at this island here, and let's go check it out. The attention to detail of this game really astounded me, from the droplets of water that's coming off Edward Kenway just as he's running there, to the animals and birds, to the sound effects of the water and the sand and the gunfire of the ships. Everything really amazed me. And every time we did a new sequence in the storyline of the game, I became more and more enthralled with the life of Edward Kenway. As you can see right now by just looking at the details of the graphics, everything is crisp and clean, and the colours are very accurate as well. Later on in this video you'll be able to see all sorts of other activities in which you can experience different parts of the game, such as different weather scenarios and all the things like that. Edward Kenway also has several outfits. This is quite an early one on in the game, but as you progress he can be altered to fit your unique character. And as you can see right now, it's starting to rain, so we have another weather system just coming in now. That will affect the visibility of what you can see while you're on the ship as well, which is also very accurate because you of course wouldn't be able to see in fog or low cloud cover. The ship itself is quite complex and does take a few minutes to get used to, but I've loved the challenges that this game brought. Of course there are Assassin's parts to it, which we will go into as my video progresses.
Captain at the helm.
So if we take a sneak peek at the map, this was when I had barely started playing, and there are several things you must do, such as capture forts, visit islands, harpoon various sea creatures, and so much more. There are animus fragments and loot chests to collect, and as the game progresses you'll get further and further around the map. So as you can see, the bits that are still clouded are areas that I have yet to fully unlock. The areas in gold were the ones I have unlocked.
And old Betty Riley, one more pull and then belay, boys. Old Betty Riley, old Betty Riley, one more pull and old Betty Riley, oh!
Yes, that is your ship's crew singing, and they do sing quite regularly throughout the game, and when you are in certain towns and villages you'll be able to pick up what's called a shanty, and if you catch them it means your crew learns a new song. So the best thing to do is try and catch as many as possible, and then you won't be stuck with the same old pirate tunes, although I'm pretty sure most of you will know some of them. So here we are, just resting after a fight, and as my ship is being repaired by the crew, I'm sitting here watching the sunset, and there are dolphins swimming around beneath us. As I said, the attention to detail is wonderful, right down to the reflections on the sea. If we climb up the ship a little, I'll be able to show you the view. You can also see other ships passing us by, and islands in the distance. It's quite lifelike. If you bump into someone in the game, they're most likely to jump out the way or take a disgruntled moan at you.
Captain's at the helm.
So on another island now, and some more dolphins swimming about. They do come quite close, which is quite nice. You can really see the details of the graphics. And as you can probably tell, my ship's had some upgrades. You can tell by just looking at it. What you could see there as well was a stealth swim. Very handy when enemies are around. One last look at the dolphins in the distance. And of course it wouldn't be Assassin's Creed without the viewpoint synchronizations. I'm sure you're like me if you like these games, it's just a part of it. It wouldn't be the same without it. I'm trying not to give too much away. I didn't want this to be a walkthrough, I wanted it to be a review. Now I'm showing you what it's like when you do a shipwreck part of the storyline. There are more than enough shipwrecks dotted around in each section of the map. And what you do is you find Kenway goes down in the diving bell, and then it'll tell you what you need to recover. So on this one there are 7 chests. You do have to be aware of sharks, jellyfish and various other things that could be harmful. And of course you must not run out of air. There are air balloons dotted around, and those are very useful. On to another island now. Little bit more wildlife for you here. And one tip that I will give you is there will be animals that you do have to kill, unfortunately, and some that you will have to skin in order to trade and make pouches for Edward so that he adapts as the storyline goes on. These pouches are made of the skin of various things such as crocodiles and leopards, things like that. And be aware that some creatures obviously will attack and kill you if given a chance. Can you hear his footprints in the sand? Here is an example of an animus fragment, and a lot of the time they are up high, buildings, trees, cliff edges, things like that. Another awesome part of this game is that you can pet animals, believe it or not. Here are 2 dogs on an island, and as you can see they're pretty happy to be getting some fuss and attention from Edward Kenway. But it's not just dogs that you can do this with, you can also do it with cats. Anytime that you're near an animal, if it comes up on your circular button, pet animal, then you'll be able to do so. That ship's going fast in the background. Here is an example of a cat pet. They simply go around your legs. And yes, this is from now, even though he's got the Ezio Auditore Assassin's Creed 2 outfit on. That's something that you can unlock as you go through the game. Now here's something for you. I've been attacking this ship, and now it's time to board the ship, and in order to do that you pull alongside, you hold the circle button down, and you and your crew board the ship. Now my one and only tip for this is, as you can see as it pops up there, you have a list of side activities. So 20 enemy crew, the ship's flag, and 2 enemy officers. So the 2 enemy officers are those red dots that I'm aiming at now with my little weapon on the side of my ship. Sometimes it's not these specifications, it'll be destroy loot crates or ammo crates, that kind of thing, or take out the ship's captain. There are various things that you need to do before you can fully gain the ship. So I'm heading up the side now to start the activities. Unfortunately I'm out of pistol shots, but I do have 1 smoke bomb left, which allows me to start killing some of the crew very sneakily. You can of course use your assassination technique. It works better if you're up higher. And there is a trophy as well, where you can swing on a rope and do air assassinations, and that will give you a trophy. It's quite difficult if there are lots of crew members like there are on this one. And as you can see every now and again as well, it will say minus 1 crew from me, which means that my crew are being killed in the meantime, so it's good to be efficient and get as much of the side activity done as quickly as possible. So what I'd normally do about now, we've got half of the crew killed. What we need to do is climb up to the crow's nest and do the flag. But unfortunately, while I was doing this one, the game glitched, and you'll see what I mean in a moment. So I got hit by that gentleman there, and he managed to slam me through the floor. So I'm underneath the ship right now, which is pretty cool. You can really see how they build the ship graphically. But what I can't do is get out. And I also cannot kill myself. So I ended up swimming around for a moment trying to figure out what on earth I was going to do. And sometimes, if it's just killing enemy crew, your enemy might end up dying anyway, your crew might do the job for you. But because there is the destroy the enemy flag and the 2 officers, it was very unlikely that my crew would be doing all of these side activities, in which case I was completely stuck. I knew that I was going to have to quit this section and I was going to lose everything I'd done in the last few minutes. Which is a shame, but it was an interesting glitch and one that I can share with you guys and make sure that it doesn't happen to you. So if you do see a very large ship with a cargo area in the centre, make sure you don't stand over any of the holes, because there does seem to be a little bit of a glitched area there. I can't remember the name of the ship, otherwise I would tell you, but as you can see, it's not great and I'm pretty stuck now. There's even dolphins swimming around outside. It's very interesting to see the fire and various other bits of the ship falling down into the water. And what I even tried to do was drown myself to try and desynchronize, but I couldn't even do that. And I'm losing crew members all the time as well as they're getting killed, so in the end it was just a necessary thing to quit. So here I am trying to do the desync by holding my breath, but it just wasn't working. And there's even a crew member here that fell through, and he's trapped inside here as well. But neither of us seem to be able to get out. I hadn't heard of this glitch anywhere else. But then again, I haven't really needed to go on YouTube for any walkthroughs or anything. So hopefully my little video will help at least one of you not to get stuck like I did. So let's continue now with the rest of my review. So something that you're going to need to do in order to get all of the upgrades for the Jackdaw is to play the Naval Game, which is situated inside the Jackdaw. So underneath where you steer the ship from, you'll notice there are 2 doors and you're able to go in there, and that's Captain's Quarters. It's where Edward Kenway would sleep and eat. And inside there are different areas where you can do upgrades and things like that. But then there's also Edward Kenway's fleet. And when you have successfully boarded a ship, you'll have options at the end. So you can either repair the jackdaw, you can decrease your wanted section of the game if you've been plundering a lot. It's pretty useful. Or you can send the ship to your fleet. By doing that, you end up with ships that you can send on various missions outside of the Caribbean. So as you can see here on the map, you have the eastern British colonies, you have Canada, America, and various parts of Europe. And these are all the ships that I have gained so far. As you can see, I have some diamonds there, and it's those gems that we use in order to repair the ships. The resources that you get means that you can send them on missions. So there will be a time frame that's said 8 hours, and it is in real time as well. So the best thing to do is do your naval contracts when you start playing a session of the game, and then the next day or week or whenever you go on it, you'll find that all of your missions have been successful. As you can see here, there's some examples: 3 hours 22, 6 hours, 7 hours 59, but this one only has 30 seconds. So if we wait for the San Isidro ship of mine to complete its journey, I'll then be able to show you what happens. The more contracts that you have, the more upgrades that will be available, and the more loot that you will get back in return. So it says mission support is successful. I have 75 reales. I traded 5 of the resource, and then I get the ship back. You also need to fight the ships to make the passage safe, and you need to repair the ships as and when they come in damaged. Then you can send them off and depart them again on another mission. It's a nice aspect to the game. So finally, in a cave with Edward Kenway on a shipwreck dive, my final thoughts of Black Flag. I really enjoyed this game. It had a different depth to it. There were many aspects that were very similar to the other Assassins, whereby you had missions, assassination contracts, you were after the Templars, and you found your destination in the end and secured the Peace of Eden. But apart from all that, you had all these wonderful aspects that none of the others had. You have your very own ship, your own crew, you have new responsibilities, and because it was so different, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. But actually, it's like you have an assassin role and a whole new side section to it as well. You do have your main sequences, and you also get to be Desmond Miles in present day working at Abstergo Industries. So there are missions as well where you have to hack computers and figure things out in present day, as well as being Edward Kenway. And as you can see from the beautiful graphics, as a whale flies past there in the ocean. It's incredible, and I have loved the game from start to finish, and I'm almost sad that we didn't get an Edward Kenway sequel. I have played the next one, which is featuring his right-hand man on the ship, Adewale, so I can recommend that if you enjoy this game. Thank you ever so much for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed the review. I would give the gameplay 5 out of 5. I would give the length of the game 5 out of 5. And I would also give every other type of section, such as the sound effects, the graphics, and all of the detail, a 5 out of 5. This has been Sabrina, aka Hitomii Wales, and this has been my Black Flag Assassin's Creed 4 review. Thank you very much for watching.